They say every marriage is a fairy tale, but sometimes the dragon isn't metaphorically fire-breathing. In the US, 41% of first marriages end in divorce. But are outdated laws making the process needlessly painful and costly, benefiting special interests more than families? Trapped in a loveless marriage, a helpless mother watched her children drown in the toxic fumes of her parents' constant fighting. But when she finally sought divorce, the legal labyrinth and hidden fees felt like another form of abuse. While we readily acknowledge the personal pain of a failing marriage, a deeper truth lies hidden in dark shadows. Governments across the globe have an often unseen agenda in shaping the legal landscape of divorce. This isn't just about protecting the sanctity of marriage. It's about powerful institutions and financial interests that stand to gain from keeping the current system in place. From religious lobbies to legal and financial industries, a web of influences can make even the most necessary reforms an uphill battle. But the true cost of this resistance isn't measured in dollars or political clout. It's measured in the shattered lives and broken families trapped in marriages beyond repair. It's the emotional toll on children caught in the crossfire of parental conflict. It's the financial burden of an unnecessarily adversarial legal system. So let's peel back the layers of this hidden agenda. Let's understand why reform faces such fierce opposition and what it means for the millions caught in the quagmire of a broken marriage. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button. Let's discover the truth behind what shapes the way we end love stories gone wrong. Think of a divorce. What images come to mind? Angry lawyers, tense negotiations, mountains of paperwork? While there's undoubtedly emotional turmoil behind it, divorce also has a hidden face. A multi-billion-dollar industry churning with lawyers, courts, and states, all with a vested interest in how the process unfolds. Now imagine a couple sitting across from a lawyer, their dreams replaced by dollar signs as hourly rates tick by. Each court appearance, every filed document, every mediation session, they're all cogs in a well-oiled machine that thrives on conflict and complexity. The divorce industry in the US alone is a behemoth, estimated to be worth $50 billion annually. In the UK, it's around £7 billion. These figures encompass a vast ecosystem. From high-powered divorce lawyers, their fees can easily reach 5 figures, and the longer the battle, the deeper the pockets they line. Court systems. Every filing, hearing, and judgment generates revenue for the state, incentivizing a less than swift resolution. Financial advisors. Untangling finances and dividing assets means more billable hours, particularly for complex estates. Therapists and counselors. The emotional fallout of divorce fuels a demand for mental health services, adding another layer to the financial picture. This isn't to say everyone involved is solely motivated by profit. Many lawyers, therapists, and financial advisors genuinely strive to guide their clients through this difficult time. Yet, the inherent adversarial nature of the traditional legal system, built on zero-sum games and winner-takes-all outcomes, inevitably contributes to higher costs and longer proceedings. It's a system where couples, already burdened by emotional turmoil, become pawns in a financial chess game, where every negotiation session feels like a bidding war, and every court appearance like a trip to the casino, except the house always wins. But why maintain such a complex and costly system? Why resist reforms that could streamline the process and ease the financial burden on families? The answer lies in the intricate web of vested interests intertwined with the traditional divorce model, but mostly government reluctance. The iron grip. While the financial burden of divorce weighs heavily on individuals, there's a hidden hand holding the scales, the government's own reluctance to reform the system. This resistance isn't born out of a genuine concern for family values. It's a complex dance of politically potent lobbying, financial incentives, and the delicate tightrope of avoiding backlash from powerful groups. Lobbying and influence peddling. Imagine a high-powered lawyer, briefcase in hand, entering a plush office occupied by a senator. This isn't just a scene from a legal drama. It's a frequent image in the corridors of power, where the legal and financial industries actively lobby against divorce reform. Why? Because a simplified, streamlined process means fewer billable hours, fewer court appearances, and less revenue for their businesses. The powerful influence of these lobbies isn't just limited to whispered conversations in backrooms. They contribute generously to political campaigns, fund research that casts doubt on reform efforts, and even launch public awareness campaigns painting simplified divorce as detrimental to society. Their message, while couched in terms of family well-being, often masks the vested interests at play. Political minefield, walking on eggshells of opposing views. Divorce reform isn't just a legal issue, it's a political hot potato. On one side, religious groups and social conservatives see it as an attack on the sanctity of marriage and a potential trigger for increased societal instability. On the other side, advocates for women's rights and social justice view complex divorce systems as tools for perpetuating gender inequality and financial hardship. Navigating this minefield is a precarious dance for elected officials. Supporting reform risks alienating influential religious groups and conservative voters. Opposing it can draw criticism from human rights advocates and potentially hurt their image among women and younger voters. This political calculus often leads to inaction, leaving the outdated system untouched, despite its negative impact on families. History repeats itself, the ghosts of failed reforms. The fight for divorce reform isn't new. Throughout history, attempts to ease the process have faced fierce opposition. In the 19th century, the fight for no-fault divorce, allowing separation without proving fault, was a long and arduous battle. Even recent attempts at modernization, like introducing collaborative divorce models, have encountered significant resistance from entrenched interests. This historical context reveals the power of inertia and the entrenched nature of the current system. It also serves as a caution, reminding us that achieving reform requires persistent advocacy, public education, and a willingness to challenge the status quo, despite the strong forces resisting change, unmasking the motive beyond financial interests. While the financial incentive of the legal and financial industries is the main hunch, the government's reluctance to reform goes beyond mere profit. There's even an underlying concern about social order and maintaining traditional family structures. Some argue that simplified divorce could lead to increased family breakdown and societal instability. Others worry about the potential impact on child welfare and morality. However, these concerns often overlook the reality of families already struggling within the confines of complex legal systems. Let's dissect the hidden coffers of the divorce industry, exposing how states and the federal government line their pockets with a system designed to be cumbersome and costly. Court fees, a cash cow for state systems. Court fees are the first and most direct source of revenue for states. Every filing, hearing, and judgment generates income, with the complexity of the case directly proportional to the windfall. A contested divorce, with its multiple appearances and mountains of paperwork, can easily generate thousands in court fees, enriching state coffers while draining family budgets. Take California, where family court fees can range from $435 for filing to $1,850 for trial fees. In 2022 alone, family court fees contributed over $284 million to the state's budget. And this is just one state. Extrapolate these figures across the nation, and the scale of this hidden revenue stream becomes staggering. Tax revenues, divorce, and the rise of single households. The economic repercussions of divorce extend beyond court fees. The dissolution of marriage often leads to the creation of single-parent households, which translates to changes in tax brackets and income levels. Single households typically pay a higher effective tax rate due to the lack of the married filing jointly benefit. Additionally, divorced individuals may be more likely to rely on government assistance programs like welfare and food stamps, further impacting social and tax expenditures. A study by the Urban Institute found that, on average, a divorced woman's income drops by 30% in the year following separation, while a man's income only decreases by 6%. This disparity suggests that divorced women are more likely to fall into lower tax brackets and utilize government assistance, contributing to a complex interplay of tax revenue and social spending. The child support labyrinth, another layer of fees. Child support agreements, while intended to secure child well-being, add another layer of financial entanglement to the divorce process. Court-appointed child support officers, mediation sessions, and legal fees associated with modifying or enforcing agreements all represent additional avenues for revenue generation. Moreover, the complex and often contentious nature of child support negotiations keeps many couples locked in a legal battleground, further enriching the divorce industry. The disincentive trap, prioritizing profit over reform. These interwoven revenue streams paint a stark picture. For governments, the current divorce system is not just a legal framework, it's a lucrative business model. This creates a powerful disincentive for reform. Streamlining the process, reducing fees, or introducing alternative dispute resolution methods could potentially cut into this financial windfall, raising concerns about budget shortfalls and impacting social programs funded by divorce-related revenues. This conflicting agenda places governments in a morally precarious position. While they have a responsibility to uphold family values and promote healthy societal bonds, the economic benefits of the existing system can create a significant barrier to genuine reform. Moving forward, breaking the chains of resistance. The path to divorce reform is a hard one, but it's a necessary journey. We must acknowledge the hidden agenda of powerful interests and the political constraints that impede progress. But by raising awareness, advocating for responsible reform measures, and prioritizing the well-being of families over financial gain, we can begin to unravel the system's iron grip and create a fairer, more humane approach to ending marriages that have reached their tragic end. Fortunately, the tides are slowly turning. A growing awareness of the financial and emotional burden of the current system is sparking calls for reform. Initiatives like mandatory mediation, online divorce platforms, and collaborative models that prioritize cooperation over conflict are gaining traction. While these reforms may present initial challenges to government revenue streams, the long-term benefits for families and society as a whole far outweigh the financial concerns. The path to a more humane and accessible divorce system will require collective action. Public education, advocacy, and political pressure can hold governments accountable and push for reforms that prioritize the well-being of families over the coffers of the court system. The picture we've painted is sobering. A divorce system entangled in a web of financial incentives, where governments profit from human heartache and families get lost in a quagmire of legalese and exorbitant fees. But amidst this bleak landscape, glimmers of hope shine through. Innovative solutions and successful reforms that offer a glimpse of a brighter future. Mandatory mediation. Replacing acrimonious courtroom battles with structured mediation sessions facilitated by trained professionals can significantly reduce costs, emotional stress, and conflict. Pilot programs like those in New York and Florida have shown promising results in reducing court caseloads and fostering amicable resolutions. Simplified online systems. Online platforms can streamline the divorce process, offering user-friendly guides, automated filing systems, and secure document exchange. Countries like Estonia and Singapore have successfully implemented such systems, making divorce more accessible and affordable for citizens. Collaborative divorce. This model emphasizes cooperation and mutual respect, with divorcing couples working together with lawyers and other professionals to craft agreements that prioritize their well-being and their children's needs. The Collaborative Divorce Network International showcases numerous success stories where this approach has fostered amicable separations and minimized financial burdens. Take Scotland and Sweden as an example. In 2006, Scotland introduced a no-fault divorce system, allowing couples to separate after 2 years of separation without citing blame. This reform simplified the process and reduced conflict while maintaining safeguards against frivolous separations. Also, Sweden's family mediation program is mandatory for divorcing couples with minor children. Facilitated by trained mediators, these sessions focus on collaborative parenting plans and minimizing emotional harm to children, earning Sweden a reputation for prioritizing child well-being in divorce proceedings. Lastly, we have the Hague Convention as a huge example. This international treaty streamlines child custody arrangements across borders, reducing legal battles and financial uncertainties for divorced couples with children living in different countries. These examples pave the way for a future where divorce isn't synonymous with financial ruin and emotional devastation. A future where governments prioritize human well-being over profit, where technology and cooperation replace adversarial battles, and where the focus remains on supporting families through life's transitions, even the difficult ones. The journey towards this future requires collective action. We must raise awareness, demand reform, and hold our governments accountable. By empowering individuals with knowledge and advocating for accessible, affordable, and humane divorce models, we could break the chains of the old system and build a path towards a more compassionate and supportive approach to ending marriages that have reached their end. Because divorce may be an ending, but it doesn't have to be a tragedy. Let's aim for a future where fixing broken love prioritizes healing, teamwork, and a better future for all, not just profit.